Hello, future people. Thank you for watching Getting Tabled. I'm Jason the Bruce, and today we're unboxing some Bot War. So, Bot War's another one of these games that we've kind of talked about here and there quite a bit. This is not the first thing that I've had from Bot War. I brought their starter set at some point just before COVID hit. And then, obviously, we all know where that led. So, awesome. Nothing really happened with Bot War for me. Which has nothing to do with the game. I mean, the game looks like a lot of fun. But COVID was COVID. And it kind of stopped everything. But, in saying that, the group of people that I am playing Bushido with are also starting with this at the same time. They kind of picked up both games and are kind of playing them side by side, 1 week on, 1 week off. And that was kind of my opportunity to go, well, maybe I can look at Bot War again. Not that I ever stopped looking at Bot War, but when you have a lot of games that you don't play, I own a lot of games that I don't play. When you fall off for whatever reason, even if it's got nothing to do with the game, sometimes you need something to give you a reason to come back in. And for me, that was, I needed people to play. And I knew that there were people in Melbourne that played, but I didn't know who they were. And it turns out that one of them is the person that I ended up playing Bushido with. Thanks, Justin. This is your fault. This is your fault. Thanks, Justin. Alright, so here we are with the Bot War box. So, just very, very briefly, Bot War itself has moved on a little bit from here. I kind of touched on it very, very briefly when we had a look at it during aiming for the indie recently. But where a lot of things was definitely not that character and definitely not that character, they seem to be moving very, very well into characters of their own. Now, the Valiants themselves still exist, so do the Deceivers, the Infestors, the Beast Lords, because all of this was their own thing already. A lot of this is being redesigned at the moment. So there's been a whole heap of Valiant stuff redesigned. There's a whole heap of Deceiver stuff redesigned that I probably might end up buying as well. That's not what's in here. In this box, we have Infestors. We've seen pictures of the Infestors, but we haven't seen any of the models. Snake Corp are no longer called the Snake Corp. They are now Coils. Probably some fairly obvious reasons for that. But like I said, everything's kind of very much become its own thing. I am a big fan of the direction that Anthony's taking this game in. I like the fact that he's definitely making this his own thing. Not that I think they were hugely at risk at all, but I think covering themselves was a very smart decision on his part. But let's see what I've got. So one thing that they're changing is they're moving towards resin and away from the metal. This is the Infestors starter set. This is all in this really beautiful purple. Every army is kind of coming in its own colour. So obviously the Infestors are purple. This is off the top of my head, so I might be slightly wrong. The Deceivers are black. I believe the Valiants are red. I want to say the Trashers are orange, but this is off the top of my head. I could be slightly wrong on that, but he's gone for a real flavour in what he's doing here, and I think it really pays off. The other thing that I have is these metal minis. These are some of the older designs, but these are the clones of some characters that we'll find in here. I think we'll start with the big boy. So, this was the first one of his own unique characters that I noticed. Not to say that it's the first one that he did, but it's the first one that I saw that I went, I don't know where this comes from, but I love it. Now, it's also fair to say that although I make the remark about how this is totally not that character and totally not that character, a lot of that, I believe, is things that we choose to see. So Duke, for example, is a character that I referred to as totally not Optimus Prime when I did my unboxing, and I deliberately painted it up that way. But if you was to actually hold Duke next to Optimus Prime, they don't actually look anything alike. It's kind of one of those things where you want something to look like something, therefore you make it look like that way in your head, if that makes sense. I mean, the Infestors are the insect Decepticons. I mean, in my head, that's what they are. But if you can see where I'm coming from, I don't think it's... The characters are not those characters. You can just see where the inspiration comes from. And this is not a criticism. It's actually something I'm praising. He's done a really good job there. Now, I just want to come in nice and close in on that, because I don't see a single mold line in here at all. Like, at all. This is really nice and crisp. Like, really nice. I don't know who you're getting to do your castings, Anthony, but whoever it is really should be getting a lot of attention, because they're really good at what they're doing. If they're not already in high demand, I suspect they're going to be, because these casts are incredible. And I don't know when you will see this, but I did praise the original resin models as well, but this is already a massive step up. Like, look how smoothly... Like, you put that in there and you can almost not even see where it was. I mean, I can, because obviously I just did that, but look at how seamlessly that fits. And it's been deliberately designed in ways that... I'm sorry, but it's a robot and you would expect there to be a crack there already. It's where there's a moving part. Of course there's going to be a seam there. That's been designed really well. Obviously the other side is the same. And these antennas are coming out of there. And they're going to be posable. So really nice. These guys are really, really tiny. So I'm going to kind of set these up and give you a look. So when I say these things are really, really tiny, just to give you an example, this is a ring pull from the top of a soda can. There's still some really nice detail in here. And getting some detail into things this small is not easy. The sculpting in this is really good. Alright, so in this bag we have 1, 2, 3 characters. So first things first, again, really, really smooth detail. This is really gorgeous. Comes with his own heroic rock. That makes him like just automatically cooler on the tabletop. So he's going to be something like that, I guess. Assuming that this is the proper base for him, which I'm pretty sure it is. And then we have what might be one of my favourites in the set. I've seen a version of this painted up by Mike from Epicdemic Studio. Well, a hell of a lot of you might have seen it. I'm really looking forward to getting this guy. I really like this model. It's really nice. The holes in the back are for his wings, which you can see here. But again, just the detail on these. I mean, yes, look, they're miniatures, they're resin miniatures, but still. And I really like the purple. It does something for the miniatures that... So you look at this from a distance, and it almost looks like it's plastic. Because you don't get coloured resin. Except you do get coloured resin. It's just nobody ever uses it. How much better does that look? This looks so premium. And all it took was a little bit of colour. Like, seriously, I know that this is not a done thing, but you could put that on the tabletop like that. If you really wanted to, you could. Now, I'm not telling you not to paint your minis. Obviously, that's not what I'm telling you. But if you were playing with mates, it certainly looks a lot better than grey plastic, or grey resin, or white resin. And then last but not least is this gorgeous guy. I love his swords. They're just all kinds of badass. And then this... I think this is supposed to be... like that. I think. I'm basing that on... If I do like that, it doesn't quite look like it fits. And obviously it's going to look weird if I put it to the side like that. Although it kind of looks like a cape if I put it like that. So, once again, really nice looking detail. A little bit of flashing on this one. That's the first lot of flashing I've seen though, which really does say a lot. Like, we're talking about resin minis here. And that's the first lot of flashing I've seen. And it's already gone. Again, it's just gorgeous. And I like the fact that... I know that this is not new. Animation has done this already. But I love the fact that the wings just essentially look like cloaks or jackets. It just really does something. Now, first things first. These are all one piece by the look of it. Now, because these are metal, these won't show up as well under camera. But as you can see, these guys have definitely seen better days. The idea between these are clones of the other characters is what they're referred as. But basically these are like old versions of the characters that have kind of started to decay and rust, and like there's barely anything of their personality left in them. So they're kind of zombie-ish in the way they feel. Should paint up really nicely. Like you want these to be painted up and kind of look a little bit worse for wear. Like you can see where there's bits that are broken and... Like they're just not as glorious as they used to be. And I really like that. Should still paint up quite nicely. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to paint them. I mean, they're going to be in a similar style, but I don't know how I'm going to paint these yet. Because I'm going for a comic style. And I don't quite know how I'm going to do that with the clones yet. So there you go, guys. That's the unboxing of my Infestors starter set and my clones. I don't think I exactly hit this during my unboxing, but this is the first time that I've actually seen the coloured resin in person. And I'm not saying nobody else has done it. Again, I mean, coloured resin is not a new thing, but nobody really does it. I really like what it does. It really adds something different. And I think Anthony's really got something with these coloured resins. Which is not to say that the metal stuff was bad, because it wasn't. But this really feels like a step up in the right way. I'm a big fan of what I'm seeing. And if you're someone that grew up on cartoons in the 80s and early 90s, this is definitely a game that's going to be something you want to check out. It has some Transformers vibes, obviously, some GoBots vibes. There's some G.I. Joe vibes in there. There's a lot of mixtures of different inspirations that's gone into this. This is not a Transformers game. It's not a G.I. Joe game. It's not a He-Man game. But it's a game that scratches those similar itches, which is how I discovered this to begin with. We'd been having a conversation about how that line of products is something that should have been on the tabletop a long time ago, because it's money printed now. And then I came across this kind of randomly, like a week or two later. Anthony's got something here. And if you like what you're seeing, I'd recommend checking out Traders Galaxy. Check out the interview we did with Beasts of War. Hell, check out the interview we did with us last year. But until next time, guys, play more games. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time, play more games.